Hey guys. It becomes more and more. By the way, I've only had one day off in 2 weeks. And last week I worked 70 hours, had a day off the other day. And it's my Monday of another 70-hour work week, so I'm exhausted. More and more, I become absolutely ashamed of my home state. And more, I realize why I originally moved away. And since I've been back, I feel physically ill when my home state is in the news. I'm from Wyoming. Our state motto is equal rights. December 10th, 1869, Territorial Governor John Allen Campbell, his namesake is Campbell County, or Campbell County's namesake is because of John Allen Campbell, signed the Act of the Wyoming Territorial Legislature granted women the right to vote, the first state and or territory to grant suffrage to women. On September 6, 1870, Louise Ann Swain of Laramie, Wyoming, became the first woman to cast a vote in a general election. In 1890, with a Republican governor and Democratic legislator, remember at the time, the parties are opposite. The party switch didn't happen until, I believe, the 60s. Insisted it would not accept statehood without keeping women's suffrage. When the U.S. Congress demanded Wyoming to rescind the right of women to vote as a condition of statehood, the Wyoming legislator fired back in a telegram, "We will remain out of the Union 100 years rather than come in without the women." Congress gave in, and thus the 44th state, Wyoming, became the first state in which women could vote. Because of this, we became the equality state. Our motto is equal rights. UCLA has a website, and I'll have it linked down below. And Wyoming is one of the many Republican-ran states that is pushing anti-LGBTQ plus legislation. And we are, and some of them passed, some of them didn't. This is sickening. But the Republicans say, "Oh, don't worry, it's just in schools. It's just in schools." Recently, a woman in Gillette, Wyoming, who works for the public library, not a school library, no, a public library, was fired because she refused to remove LGBTQ plus books from the shelves. When Campbell County, named after Territorial Governor John Allen Campbell, passed a law that the LGBTQ plus books will not be allowed in Campbell County public libraries. I'm from the state. I was raised in this state for a very long time until, I want to say about 2 years ago, I was proud to say I'm a Wyomingite. I used to say I'm born and raised, though that's not entirely true. I was born south of here in Denver. I grew up in Cheyenne. I graduated high school in Kimmer. Go Rangers. But lately I've been saying, I'm not from Wyoming, I'm from Colorado. Because technically that is true. I was born there. But nope, I'm from Wyoming. And I continue to say it because for the most part it's true. This is sickening. This is shameful. And I posted a Ring of Fire video to the Wyoming subreddit. And someone mentioned something that, yeah, it's actually really true. We are the equality state in name only. And I had to we are being erased by the Republicans. They are trying to erase us, saying that we cannot exist. There are states that has made it illegal for schools to speak of us. Wyoming is one of them. Wyoming has deemed it. Not Wyoming. States have deemed it child abuse if your child is gay or lesbian or trans. And parents has been stripped of the parental rights and had their child put into care of the state because they are because they're part of the LGBTQ plus community. This is shameful. This is totalitarian. Name one point in history where it was the good guys who banned books. It was the good guys who banned people from existing. The ages of 13 to 17 are some of the most important in people's lives. That, by the way, those are the ages where you're at school. Between the ages of 13 to 17 is when you become who you are, is when your identity truly starts to form. Is where you learn a lot of your morals. Between the ages of 13 and 17, are you religious or not? Are you an atheist? Are you a pagan? Are you a Christian? "13 to 17 is when you learn if you're gay, if you're lesbian, if you're non-binary, or if you're trans. These are the most important ages in a person's life. Depression and suicide are already much higher in the LGBTQ plus community. It's even higher of those in the LGBTQ plus community who are between the ages of 13 and 17. School is when you discover yourself. I was 15 when I realized I was bi. I was 17 when I realized I was trans. Guess what? I discovered this in school by talking to my peers, talking to my school counselor. None of them said, yes, you are, or no, you're not. Because when you talk to your peers, that when you say, I think I'm this, they ask questions. They have a conversation with you. When I was talking to my school counselor, it was a conversation. It was asking of questions. When I've talked to my therapist, told her that I'm trans, It was asking questions. It was having a conversation, letting that conversation morph into yes, morph into a no. When I was 15, I actually thought I was gay. But talking to my friends, it formed to no, I'm bi. It's a conversation that has to have a place. And schools are usually where it happens. It's through a lot of reading, a lot of self-discovery, a lot of questions being asked. And when you answer one, 1,000 more pop into place. And when you have a state that deems it that you cannot talk to your peers, read a book, talk to those who are actually there to help you, aka the school counselors, aka books in a library. It makes a person feel like they're unwelcome to exist. And when they're in that very, very important part of like, I don't know, and the state tells you, no, you cannot read about it, no, you cannot talk about it. If you dare ask your parents might lose you. You might lose them. Suicide seems like a good option. I'm not saying that it is. But when you're in that very fragile mindset, it does seem kind of the way. And I know this from experience. I've attempted 3 times. Twice when I was a teenager. We're no longer the state of equality. Our state motto should no longer be equal rights. With shit like this going on, we're becoming totalitarian. I'm ashamed of being a Wyomingite. I'm ashamed to sit here in Cheyenne. At the museum downtown, there's a statue of Louise Ann Swain. Our state seal says equality state. Doesn't feel like it. This is shameful. Absolutely shameful. And we should be ashamed. We can do so much better.